What's going on, 49er Faithful, 49er Fam, 49er Gang? It's your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building with another video. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, it's one of those mornings. I really wanted to be in here under different circumstances to be happy, and appreciate you, Bob Money. Appreciate you, Roy Boy. I'm with you. What's going on, Gammon? Good morning, brother. Shout out Bob Money. Yeah, we're starting to slowly find that out. More out too, man. You can hear it in my voice, bro. I barely talk. It hurts my heart to be in here this morning and not be talking about a Super Bowl win, man. Like, you give so much of yourself to a team year in and year out. And I know people are like, why is it such a big deal? You're just a fan of the team. Like, it's really not that bad. That's because you're a casual fan. You're not invested in your squad the way that I am. You don't look at the game the way that I do. You don't pay close attention. You just check your phone to see if you won or you lost. I don't do that. I'm well invested in this game. Well invested in the Niners as a squad. Watch a little bit of basketball, watch a little bit of baseball. Football is my favorite sport. Niners are my favorite team. I rep them harder than I rep any other squad that I watch or pay attention to. I have more of their gear, all of that, man. But, that doesn't diminish the fact that I'm still going to root for my squad or anything like that. But it diminishes my fact in the current regime. I talk about how I liked Harbaugh and what he brought to the table. But in hindsight, when I reflect on it, not much different than what the fuck we got here. Another situation, another team, that looks good on paper. Everything matches up. You start to become frustrated. And it starts to get worse and worse, man. You start getting more and more tired of watching your team that you know can win it all fail year after year. And for us to get to the biggest game of the year, the mountaintop, and to fail again, I don't know, man. I don't know if Kyle's the guy to get us over the hump, people. And I know a lot of you guys won't like that. I know a lot of people won't want to hear me out. I know a lot of people will be like, well, he's the reason we got here, all this other stuff. Yeah, he's also the reason that we lost. Like, at this point, Kyle needs an offensive coordinator. He needs somebody who can think outside the box, who can not beat themselves, and someone he can give full autonomy to as the offensive coordinator to make plays, make calls, and come up with better game plans. Because it just didn't make sense what happened. None of it. And it sucks as fans to watch your team go in there with a head full of steam. You think everything's cool. You got everything you need. You do all the things that you need to do. In the end, you get nothing in return. And even as I sit here this morning, I don't want to hear optimistic bullshit from anyone. I truthfully don't. This is the second fucking loss that we've had to the same team in the fucking Super Bowl. And we had their ass down by 10 in both of these Super Bowls. Still couldn't get the job done. Two very significant plays in the game played a huge part in this. First thing, Jake Moody. It's not hard to kick an extra point. It's not that far away. They replayed it 3 different times. I don't want anyone in my comments saying that it's not Moody's fault. I watched it. I cannot stand his kicking style. I hate it. It's worthless. All Jake Moody had to do was kick an extra point. But when he comes up to kick, instead of him kicking it and just making life easy, he kicks it off his fucking ankle. Easiest way to get your kick blocked is not putting enough height on it, because people will jump. And if your arms are long enough, you can block a kick if it doesn't get enough height on it for it to get over your hands. Second play that was very significant. On a punt return, the ball bounces off Darrell Luter's ankle. So it touched him. So technically we had possession of the ball. Ray had technically called for the fact that he wasn't going to catch it. But he realized smartly that the ball had bounced off of Luter's ankle and knew we had to get the ball, otherwise we could lose that possession. So instead of just falling on the ball, making your life easy, making sure you have possession, making sure there's no way that the Chiefs could touch the ball or possess it in any way, what do? You try to pick the ball up as you're running, and you fuck around and lose the ball, and gives the Chiefs perfect field position and give Patrick Mahomes life already in the red zone. Those 2 plays were extremely significant and could have kept us out of overtime and could have made sure that we won the game. All we needed was 1 point, and Moody couldn't deliver. All we needed was Ray to fall on the ball instead of trying to pick it up while he's running, knowing there are like fucking at least a good 10, 11 Chiefs on their way. Just fall on it, bro. You don't need to pick it up. This is not the time to be dynamic. Make the smart plays, the simple plays, things that you don't have to do that are over the top. And I'm not in here to yell or scream. I ain't gonna do it. But let's talk about it. Should they keep Ayuk, Jennings, or Chase Young? You keep Ayuk and Jennings and get rid of Chase Young. Yes, Chase Young had a sack in the Super Bowl, but after that, where was this nigga at? Pressure was consistent, but I don't think Chase Young is worth the money. If you're going to tell me if I have to keep Ayuk or Jennings, I'm keeping Ayuk and Jennings. Jennings was fucking MVP of the Super Bowl, period. That's just the truth of it. If you don't believe me, Jennings is only the second player to throw for a touchdown and catch one. That's it. You know, he did everything that he could when it came down to it, man. 6 possessions in the first half, technically. 5 because I don't count the 6th one because we just basically kneeled it out and went to the halftime. So it's not technically, for me, it's not a possession. I don't count it against us. But these were our possessions in the first half, people. Fumble, punt, field goal, punt, touchdown, half. That's it. Yeah, I'm with you, Roy boy. I don't like. I'm not. I don't want to be. I really don't want to be bothered myself. I feel you. Yeah, Kyle can't get it done. 0 points in the third quarter. Came out passing against a good pass defense. Out of these are the things that we talk about, man. If we're gonna keep one or the other, then no, you can keep Jennings too. You have to remember, Juwan is cheap. You know what I'm saying? You gonna cost you some bread. You're gonna have to like pay that man. You're not gonna get away with like stringing him along on a shitty contract. You got to pay Ayuk. He's on the field consistently. He does more. But Jennings, even though he's cheap, he's still going to cost us a little bit just strictly based on the fact that look what he does. He always finds a way to come through at the right time, man. And I feel you, Roy boy. Same thing, man. I appreciate you, bro. It's frustrating, man. So in the second half, another 6 possessions. Once again, last possession doesn't count because we just kneeled it out to go to OT. We aren't going to be stupid and do anything dumb, which makes sense. But in that second half, we come out, punt, 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 touchdown, field goal, end of the half. So we technically had 10 possessions, only scored on 4 of them, 2 TDs, 2 field goals, and then the other 6 possessions, we did nothing. We were driving on that first drive when Christian McCaffrey fumbled the ball. We were driving. And you can't, I don't know that you can really blame Christian. I mean, you get into a pile, enough guys start ripping at the ball. Anybody could fumble that. I'm not going to blame him for that. Anybody could fumble that. That's not outside the realm of possibility. So what kills me is, we had turnovers. We didn't capitalize on either of them. No points on the interception. No points on the fumble recovery. And that hurt us. The thing that really hurt us the most was the fact that our offense was stagnant. Everybody's like, well, we scored 2 touchdowns. Yeah, but technically speaking, you had 10 possessions. Now, if that would have been 4 touchdowns, I'm not upset. But it was 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals and 1 missed extra point. And that missed extra point was literally the catalyst for us losing this game. All Moody had to do was make an extra point, bro. It's not that hard. Adjust your goddamn kicking style, bro. Figure something out. Because everybody gets hype, everybody gets happy. Oh, well, he makes his field goals. I don't give a fuck. You should be able to do the simple things very easy. It's not hard. Yet and still, here we are. When you just look at it, man, not capitalizing off those turnovers hurt a lot. Because when you get turnovers, at a minimum, you want to get 3 out of that. At a minimum. Even if you don't get 7, you want 3. Both teams had 2 turnovers in the game. Neither team scored in the first quarter. 49ers didn't score at all in the third quarter. We had 23 first downs. They had 24. 15 passing first downs. They had 15 passing first downs. 5 rushing first downs. They had 9. Here's the bigger thing. San Francisco on third down, 3 for 12. Kansas City on third down, 9 for 19. They were almost 50%. Both teams converted on fourth down once. And I already told you about the biggest fuck-ups of the game with the missed extra point and Ray McCloud just not falling on the goddamn ball, bro. Like, this isn't the time for you to try to be the fucking hero, man. Just fall on it. You saw the ball bounced off of someone. Don't even try to pick it up and run with it. They're already there. What you have to understand is the ball is in the air long enough to give some. I mean, these punters put that shit into the stratosphere. We know. We have one who does it. And he was busy last night. His name is Mitch Wisnowski, one of the best punters in the league. But at the end of the day, those punters put that ball up in the air long enough to give their people enough time to get there. So if you notice something like that and you know that they already there, why therefore would you knowingly understand there's a bunch of Chiefs around you and try to pick the ball up and run with it? Why not just fall on it, bro? Just lay down. It's not hard. That's all you got to do. You know. I'm sorry, Lily. I like your optimism, but I don't believe in Jake Moody anymore. At this point, I would have done better having Robbie Gould. At least I know he doesn't miss in the playoffs. Moody has missed on several different things. And yes, he can work on his kicking. But at the end of the day, I don't need you to work on your kicking now. I need you to have that shit straight when we got into the fucking Super Bowl. And that's what hurts the most. You know what I mean? And I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do, but I'm really tired of getting to the mountaintop and not being able to make it happen. You know, sorry, I gotta pause that because I can't keep watching them fucking score. Oh, this shit, man. So, Brock Purdy, 22 of 38, 255 yards, 1 TD. Was sacked 1 time. Pat Mahomes, 34 of 46, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Was sacked 3 times. Rushing, Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries for 80 yards. Brock Purdy, 3 for 12. Elijah Mitchell, 2 for 8. Kansas City, rushing. Patrick Mahomes, 9 carries, 66 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 18 for 59. They had 130 yards total. We had 110. When it comes to the situation of what happened, what I saw a lot was Brock Purdy forcing throws. And guys just weren't open. That was the fact of it. Guys just were not open. And there were lots of times I saw him throw some almost interceptions. There were lots of times that I saw him forcing the ball when he didn't need to. It's like, Brock, at the end of the day, bro, if it ain't there, it ain't fucking there. But what kills me is If you know that Brock isn't seeing this, why on God's green earth are you not seeing this and fixing it, changing the game plan as a head coach? You go with what works. You don't go against what works. You know, it's the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, yeah, and there was no separation. I agree with you, Lily. No separation whatsoever, man. Like just the worst. Christian McCaffrey was our leading pass catcher. 8 receptions for 80 yards and a receiving touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, 3 catches, 49 yards. Juwan Jennings, 4 catches, 42 yards, and a TD. Deebo Samuel, 3 catches, 33 yards. Juice, surprisingly, was involved. 2 catches for 31 yards. Loved both of his plays. San Francisco fumbles the ball. We lost both of them. We lost both of those fumbles. The one to Christian McCaffrey, we were able to stop the defense. The one that bounced off of Luter Jr., and Ray decided to be a dumbass. Instead of falling on the ball, he tried to be a fucking hero. What happened there? We lost that one. And you know what else happened? The Chiefs scored on that play. And the momentum started to shift right then and there. The Chiefs fumbled the ball 5 fucking times, people. 5 times. 5 times they fumbled the ball. They only lost one of them. We fumbled twice and lost both of them. We have to capitalize on things like this. We have to recover the ball in situations like this. And then when you flip it over to the defensive side of the ball, Fred Warner, 13 tackles. Jair Brown, 11. Deommodore Lenoir, 8. Logan Ryan, 7. Bosa, 6. Armstead, 6. Hargrave, 6. Gibb, 5. Oren Burks, 5. Mooney Ward, 4. Kinlaw, 4. Flanagan Fowles. We were tackling our ass off. Armstead had a sack. Hargrave had a sack. And so did Chase Young. Flip over to the Chiefs. Nick Bolton, 13 tackles. Nobody else was in double digits. They had 4 tackles for a loss. We had 6 TFLs. 2 by Bosa, 1 by Armstead, the other by Hargrave, Mooney Ward, and of course, Chase Young. We had 2 passes defensed. They had 6. You know, when you take a look at it, it's crazy. Mike Edwards had 1. L'Jarius Sneed had 1. Trent McDuffie is a fucking baller. That guy can play football because he was all over the goddamn field last night. He was making plays, man. He only had 3 tackles, but those 3 passes that he had defensed were big. And even though they only had 1 sack, man, and that was a combo between Reed and Karlaftis, just it was a lot, man. Jair Brown, he had that interception. What do we do with it? We squandered the opportunity. We didn't capitalize on that. Jake Moody made all his field goals. Couldn't make the easiest kick of all, an extra point. Harrison Butker didn't have that issue. Made everything he had to kick. Mitch punted 5 times, so did Tommy Townsend. Mitch averaged 50.8. Tommy averaged the same. Mitch had 3 inside the 20. Tommy had 2. What truthfully kills me about this is why did we go away from the run? Why would Brock Purdy need to pass the ball almost 40 times? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And Rick Diaz says what you're saying right now is true. That's why I said a few minutes ago to one of them by my family. I just said that, and you just been saying that that it is one of the. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, he missed a field goal, and I think the 49ers should have done last night. They should have scored 2 touchdowns. Yeah. I love Jair Brown. I like what he did, Lily. He showed up. He showed up for real, for real. Love what Jair Brown did. He definitely did everything that he was supposed to do. Very happy for him to show up and show out. I know he looks like he had a hard situation when he hit Travis Kelce to get him out of bounds. And that was the hard part for him. You know what I'm saying? It was a rough go. But love what Jair Brown did last night. He did everything he could, man. I didn't even talk about the Kansas City receiving, but Travis Kelce, 9 catches, 93 yards, no TDs. Valdez-Scantling had 1 TD. And Mecole Hardman, who was a non-factor pretty much for a good majority of the game, showed up in the biggest moment and wound up catching that fucking touchdown to kill us. You know, yeah. I don't know what about a Super Bowl window, or none of that. I always get confused with that. Like, there's no window. You just got to go into the season, play the games that are in front of you, and do your best to make it happen. But my number one thing about this right now, and the reason that I don't have the energy to scream, yell, holler, plus it's early in the fucking morning. I'm tired of year in and year out, man, being relevant. And I will never call Kyle Shanahan ever again until he wins the Super Bowl. His name will be Kyle Reed, because that's who he is. The only difference between him and Andy is he got to 2 Super Bowls. Andy only got to 1. Kyle is now 0-3 in Super Bowls, people. Lost 1 as a coordinator, lost 2 as a head coach. Some guys just can't, they can't get over the hump. They truthfully can't. And for as much as I love my team and as much as I appreciate the fact that he's kept us relevant for these years, I'm sorry. Relevancy means shit if you don't get the job done. It's nice to walk around and be NFC champs. But our actual owner said it. We are not here to hang NFC championship banners. We're here to win Super Bowls. That's what we're here to do. And honestly, yeah, Greenlaw being out hurt. That hurt a lot because he means so much to the team. And I think we only had about 50% of Debo after he went down because it looks like he had pulled his hamstring mid-game. And he went out there and he fought through it. He did. And it's commendable, but at some point you kind of got to look at him and go, yeah, bro, it's not working. And I know the threat of him being there is what scares defenses, but here's the thing, Kansas City wasn't bothered. Whether he was on the field or off the field, they just didn't give a fuck. They just looked at it like, hey, man, you could be here, you couldn't. But yeah, we were missing Hufanga. Yes, we were missing Greenlaw as well. And it's a heartbreaker, man. It really is, because so many dudes on this team were on that 2019 team. And for you to be there twice and just not have anything fucking sucks. Kittle was a non-factor. He didn't exist the whole game. Like, they just shut him down. Like, he wasn't open, Purdy wasn't seeing him. I don't know what the fucking situation was, but Kittle was not around. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Hufanga and Greenlaw were there that last play. Andy Reid, special to me, Cole doesn't happen. keep the players healthy as possible next season. That's another thing that we suffer with here, Lily. Staying healthy. Every single year, somebody goes down. And yes, it's football and it's inevitable and these things happen, but we've been the most injured team in the league since Kyle and John have gotten here. And I know you can't necessarily blame them for that, but it is kind of odd that they're here and this is happening. I'm just saying. It just really hurts my heart that this is the situation. That year in and year out, we get our hopes up. Things look good. We invest as much as we can into the squad. We think about it. We push for it. We fight for it. And at the end of the day, nothing in return. And for the people out there that are happy and content with just being relevant, you have at it. That is perfectly fine. I'm not happy or content with being relevant. I don't give a fuck about relevancy. Relevancy does not win you Super Bowls. You know, it's funny because a lot of people will do that. You'll see those people. Oh, the ball just didn't bounce our way today. It's not a big deal. No, it is a big fucking deal. And it is very frustrating to pour so much into your team every year and to look at the team from a different standpoint and to like dig into the game. And that's why I say there's different types of fans. I'm really invested in the squad, man. Like I really watch the games. I really know what I'm talking about. And see, all year long, what will happen is people will malign me for my takes and the way that I look at things. But what happens at the end of the year just wound up being proven right. So I don't stress it. All year long, everyone says, oh, well, we didn't get lucky, or this didn't happen, or you can't blame so-and-so for this, and you can't blame this person for that. At the end of the day, who are we to blame? The players and the coaches. And at this point, I'm tired of Kyle. I just am. You've been here for 7 years and given us nothing. Nothing at all. What you've provided is a bunch of false hope for all those years. And when the season rolls around again, we'll be right back at it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else that's going to change. You know, the only thing that will change is the players on the squad. Some people will be here, some people won't. You know, morning, Jet. But I'm really tired of it, man. Truthfully, I am. Like, and the one thing that I noticed is a lot of our younger fans haven't seen the Super Bowl win. You got to think about it. If you were born after 95, you didn't see any Super Bowl wins. And if you were born, you know, 94, 90, like that, you didn't even see it. I only saw 3 of our Super Bowl wins. Actually, no, I take that back. I saw 4. Because I was born the year we got our first one. So that don't count for me. But I watched 4 Super Bowl wins. I watched us dominate the 80s and be the team that was scary as shit. I watched us consistently stay relevant in the 90s and then finally pull it off a couple years into it. Yeah, and that, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. The hard part is we got to literally get used to this, you know. And Kyle didn't run the ball in the third quarter. Yeah, this is a great point, but that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's right here. Don't make them forget that Kyle didn't run the ball in the third quarter. You know, when we were ahead of Mahomes, my RB, CMC pretty much non-existent. And that's the other thing. The number one thing I said going into this game, honestly, was very simple. Mix up the running backs. You have 3 viable running backs, yet you refuse to use them. Elijah Mitchell was healthy for a change. When Elijah Mitchell is healthy, he actually does really good things. No, they want to use him. Like, I don't understand why you get so stuck in your ways and why you beat yourself all the time. Like, are you that headstrong that you can't say, I have options? Let me fuck around a little bit with these options. Because if you give them different looks, it hurts. So put it like this. If I'm running CMC down your throat, next thing you know, I run Jordan Mason at you. You don't know what type of player that is. You know why? Because you game plan for 23. And it makes everyone's life easier as a defensive coordinator when you know you have a head coach who's so stubborn, he's not going to wind up changing his game plan for anybody. So you know that CMC is the focal point. It's easy to focus in on him, but you don't want to use the other players that you have. There's a roster of 53. I believe on game day, 46 or 48 can be active and dressed. Why not use them? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the shit that drives me insane. Yeah. Bro, that O-line was bad last night, man. Trent had 2 damn penalties in a row. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? It's the biggest game of your life. You can't do it, man. Yeah, bro, don't even get me started on that. I'm not even going to revisit that fucking situation, Bob Money. I've been saying that shit for years, and everybody always, oh, man, you need to get off that. Well, this is it. Yeah. Great metaphor, Jack. Yeah, hey, look, let me explain something to you. Hats off to the Kansas City defense. I'm not even going to lie. They ball. Kansas City's defense is for fucking real. That much is true. Kansas City defense is for real. And that one dude, he knew what the fuck like. Chris Jones had us figured out. This nigga didn't let shit get by him. He was smart. I give Chris Jones credit. Chris Jones knew what the fuck he was doing, and he knows Kyle. If you don't believe me, please rewatch the Super Bowl. Even if I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch it, but rewatch the Super Bowl. Chris Jones knew what the fuck we were doing, bro. Like, this thing, he understood the motions, everything. Like, there are players and there are times where you can see people get frustrated. Not him. He was on it last night. I'll give him that much. Chris Jones knew what the fuck was up. Yeah, Kyle, third quarter, Brock Purdy, 6 straight pat. I've been saying this all along, but I'm always wrong. And I'm always negative. I'm always this. I'm always that. You know. But CMC having 30 touches, like, why did CMC need 30 touches? He didn't. You could have gave CMC 20. You could have gave Elijah Mitchell 10. You could have gave Jordan Mason 5. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't know anymore, man. I really don't. Yeah, Purdy was pressured all night long. He was forced to throw that ball way earlier than he really would like to most of the night. The Kansas City pass rush was in our backfield pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is 9 straight possessions, and he only gave the ball to the Offensive Player of the Year one time. These are things that happen, man. What's going on, TD? Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. You got to deal with it. Hello. Mason is a hammer, and they didn't use it. Yeah, Trent didn't even play well. Oh, Trent tore his ACL? Are you serious? Please tell me that's something that was confirmed. Oh, no. Yeah, if he tore his ACL, I'm pretty sure he's done. It is what it is. Yeah, devil's advocate. Shanahan is fired. Who comes in, gets us over the hurdle? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Here's why I'm going to disagree with you here, Michael. And I'm going to say that this is a situation where, yes, it could look like that, obviously, because you have Taylor Swift. You see, she's brought the NFL a very, very large sum of money with Travis Kelce fucking, um, his jersey skyrocketing into the stratosphere from all of her fans. But I don't think, oh, it was an Achilles injury. Okay, don't scare me like that. Shit. It's like, fuck me. Um, but yeah, what's going on, Jason? But you know, he is. He is. But here's the thing for me, man. I don't know anymore what to do. But I at this point, man, we're just gonna have to be satisfied with knowing we'll go to an NFC championship, knowing there's probably an 80% chance we lose that game, and knowing if we get to a Super Bowl, we have a head coach who probably won't pull it off. You know, nah, it's not wrong to say you knew it was gonna happen. You know, it's it's a lot. I think a call needs to be made to Bill, at least bring him in as an advisor. No, nah. Mm-mm. You have to think about it like this. See, once again, I will say this, and I want people to understand this. My takes and the things that I say, I don't say them just because I want to be mean to Kyle or I want to be mean to certain people. I'm saying it because I see shit right in front of me. And I'm not going to be cautiously optimistic for a motherfucker who can't figure it out. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Kyle's had a lot of failures since he's been here. But what people only see is the successes. What people don't remember is the fact that we passed up on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes because Kyle wanted to dick ride Kirk Cousins and didn't get him, and we had to settle for Jimmy Garoppolo. And then he wound up having another losing season right behind that because why Jimmy thought he was a fucking quarterback against who of all teams? Kansas City. We go into 2019. We get to the Super Bowl. Who are we facing? Kansas City. Who beats us that year? They do. Because we have a quarterback who couldn't throw a deep ball to save his life. Yesterday, we had a quarterback that was under pressure on a consistent basis. And he literally had to force the ball to most of his targets because no one was catching shit and no one was open. That's the hard part. Like when you look at the stats, it's immediately frustrating. But when you look at the stats, it's frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Like, our leading receiver is our running back? What? That doesn't make sense. Why is our leading receiver our running back? We have Deebo Samuel. We have Brandon Ayuk. We have Jawan Jennings. We have viable receiving options. But no, couldn't get him the ball. Now, Christian caught all 8 of his passes. He was 8 for 8. BA, 3 for 6. JJ, 4 for 5. Deebo Samuel, 3 for 11. 3 for 11 people. That is that's what? 3 catches on 11 targets? I'm just trying to tell you people, it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on, and That's just the situation. I'm actually going to turn this light off real quick because I don't think I need it. There we go. Yeah. But that's the situation, honestly. It's really rough because you need him to be that guy. You truthfully do. You know, and it's frustrating. And this next Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans. You know, I think Prime was on with Lil Wayne doing his podcast, and then he had Skip Bayless on, and both of them were campaigning for Wayne to be the halftime show, which probably would be nice. You know what I'm saying? He's got hits, so that would work out. But yeah, it's just that there are so many things that we don't know, you know, and I don't know, man. You look at it, 11 targets, 3 catches, man. Can't show up like that in the Super Bowl, sir. You got to be ready. O-line just didn't do anything. Yeah, that I think we are all on the same page, man. Like what kills me about Kyle is you're gonna go away from what you normally do, what works, what helps you win games. You go away from that, and you like, why are you throwing the ball like this? Like you need a Patrick Mahomes type quarterback to be throwing the ball as many times as you're throwing. You know, you had Matt Ryan in his prime. That's why you did what you did. That's why you were able to throw the ball the way you were able to throw the ball. You had some viable you had Julio Jones is guaranteed Hall of Famer. That man was a monster in his prime. I mean, now he's kind of bouncing around team to team, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just certain things that just don't pan out, man. It's just, yeah. KC was better. And it kind of is what it is. But I'm sorry. I'm tired of watching us lose and never get back in and just not being able to get the job done, man. It's frustrating. Very. So it is what it is. Season's over. And next season, I'm not saying anything to any team about anything. Nobody. You know, I can't continually malign other teams for not doing shit when all we do is get to the mountaintop to just get there and hang out. We're just participants. Like we get a participation trophy. You know, the little shitty one you get from like the 99-cent store that everybody gives you because you participated, but you didn't even get first, second, or third place. You just got the participation trophy because you gave it your all. We'll get them next time, kiddo. The fuck? I want that participation trophy. Throw that shit in the fucking trash. I don't want to participate. I want to win. And if you guys are, I'm telling you once again, man, people, if you are out there and you are comfortable with just being relevant, you got to get that bullshit out your system. Because when you're comfortable with just being relevant, you don't have a desire to want more. You don't have a desire to want that championship. You can't be comfortable with just being relevant. You have to want it. You have to know it's there. You got to go out. You got to fight for it. And you got to be smart about it. But at this point, man, it is what it is. You know, we took the L. All we can do is look forward to the draft. Pray to God we don't draft another goddamn defensive lineman. That's just going to be another waste of fucking time. Because we suck in the draft early. We seem to do way better late. And I mean, I feel for the players, honestly, too. Sucks for Trent Williams, sucks for CMC. Two guys who gave everything that they had and who are the premier players at their positions. Nothing to show for it. Trent had never gotten to the Super Bowl ever in his career. Hell, he barely had been to the fucking playoffs before he came around to us. I can tell you right now, if he retires, pretty sure I wouldn't be mad at him. It gets tiring coming year in and year out and busting your ass and working hard and doing what you need to do, and you just have nothing to show for it. After a while, you know what, man, I'm good. If Tayshaun Gibson retires, wouldn't blame him. You know, like there's things that we have to do that we really need to, man. Yeah, that's facts. Straight facts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 It's just it is what it is, man. Yo, when I saw that commercial, I cried because I was like, bro, damn, dad, they just keep it's I get the money. I do. I get the money. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Mars, Hershey's, Eminem, whatever the company, them niggas make money. And each one of those Super Bowl commercials, I believe, cost you $7 million. So I get the money that Dan is making, but for fuck's sakes, I'm sorry. At some point, I would turn down a few of them things. Like, yo, bro, I get it, but I don't want to be the pun consistently of the guy that didn't win. Because I can tell you right now, you don't see Jim Kelly in them fucking commercials. And that nigga lost four straight. But you don't see him out there promoting losing. Just saying. To be honest with you, CJ Gray, it's very simple. The two plays, two simple plays in this game, bro. And I know you came in a little bit later. Two simple plays in this game can tell you exactly why we didn't win. Number one, Moody missing the extra point because he just, for some reason, decided to kick with his ankle instead of his foot. And if you don't believe me, please go watch the replay. You'll see it. They replayed the shit in slow-mo like several fucking times. And the fumble that bounced off of Luter's leg, and Raymond McLeod's dumbass decided to keep trying to pick the ball up when he knows there's, a good 7, 8, 9 Chiefs headed his way. Why not just fall on the ball? You see that it touched him? I'm not trying to pick that up. I'm falling on it. I'm gonna lay there. I'm about to look as lifeless as possible, but I can tell you right now, you try to rip that ball out of my hands, you're gonna need the jaws of life. That's what I'm doing. But that gave them the primest field position. And what happened in that moment? They scored. They maximized off of a turnover. We didn't maximize off any of our turnovers. We failed. So this ain't the defense. I have to put this on Kyle and the offense. I have to. I'm sorry. The defense did everything they fucking could all game long, man. They balled. They did everything they could. The offense just didn't give them enough in return. And for some ungodly reason, you going away from Christian McCaffrey and forcing the Brock to throw, like, what are you doing? Yeah, McCaffrey was averaging, I think, about 3.6 yards, 3.8 yards per carry. But it wasn't that bad. That means I can literally run the ball 4 times to get a first down. And if that's all I'm doing and I'm walking down the field like that, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So things happen. But those were the two plays that were very significant. Yeah. And this is what I always have been screaming. I've been screaming this for years. Nobody says anything. We got Trent and we got Aaron. And to be honest with you, outside of Trent Williams, we don't have other offensive linemen that are stars. Jake Brendel does well. Aaron Banks benefits from being next to Trent. Not to say that he's not a good player, but he still does benefit from standing next to the silverback. We literally rotated Burford in and out with Feliciano. Hopefully, who's hopefully okay because he wound up getting injured. But these are the things that we're talking about here, people. This is what we're doing. So it just frustrates me to no end that we don't focus on the O-line, and we always wind up just picking up makeshift guys and rotating them in and out. Colton McKivitz is a full-on liability at right tackle. We're going to have to fix that because I don't know what the fuck he's been doing, but it's not working out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just, it is what it is, man. Yeah, these are things. Yeah. They just, but that's the thing. Like, okay, to this point right here, CJ, what I will say is what you do is you switch up the running backs. That's the biggest issue for me. You have two viable options. You have no reason, none at all, no reason to not use them. If I'm Kyle, I run the ball down your throat. I run. My game plan is going to be run heavy and pass lightly. I'm passing the ball maybe about 20 to 25 times at a maximum. Because what happened last night? Purdy threw the ball 38 times. Why? Most of Kyle's wins, if you look at the history, come when his quarterback does not throw the ball more than 25 times. And the run is working, and it's a run-heavy type of game plan because that's what his style is. And I don't know why he keeps trying to change it and go to this pass-happy thing, but it doesn't make sense, and it's not helping him. He's not getting anywhere with it. And yes, our O-line was trash last night. They were just getting killed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry. It this is the thing, Dominator. I can't really blame Steve Wilks. The reason being is because his defense did the job all game long. They did the job. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. There's nothing else they could have done. We shouldn't have even been in OT. Our offense did not give anything to our defense in return for their service in that Super Bowl. They did not. They did not do enough. 2 turnovers, nothing to show for it. Not even 3. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying? And we all knew that Mahomes was going to do his dink and dunk shit. But I have to say, honestly, the defense did their job. If we would have done our job on offense and as a team, and at a bare minimum, all we needed was that extra point. And we're good. But it just, I hear what you guys are saying about the OT situation. And no, those weren't necessarily the best of calls. But all we could do is just have to deal with it. And yeah, like with my thing is in OT, I'm bracketing Kelsey. I wouldn't let that motherfucker be taken one-on-one by anybody. I know that might leave someone else open, but I can deal with that as long as he doesn't get the ball because we already know how that works. Yeah, and it but the one thing I can say is that Kelsey was he was a factor, but he wasn't that crazy of a factor. You know what I'm saying? He had 9 catches for 93 yards, and then he had that one big 22-yard run. So, you know what I'm saying? You take that away. He wasn't really doing much. That big run was his main play. The rest of the stuff that he got was very, very minimal. You take 22 out of that, you know what I'm saying? And now you're down to 70 and the average drops. So it's just frustrating. And like I said, this season, I'm not saying anything to anyone. You know why? Because we don't do anything but wind up on the couch with everybody else, so we ain't no better than nobody else. The fact that we're relevant and the fact that we know we're going to win games and get to the playoffs doesn't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, if you don't bring home the Lombardi, getting into the playoffs was all for nothing. What's the point of it? To say you're relevant? To say, hey, it's nice that this game is here and we got here, but we don't really have any business being here because we're going to just wind up failing again? It's literally how it feels every fucking year. You know, we're called the faithful, but for fuck's sakes, bro, your faith is definitely tested when you consistently go to an NFC championship game and fail, and go to Super Bowls and fail. People, we are now 5-3 in Super Bowls. We had won 5 straight when we were in the big game with no L's. Since Dennis Erickson and Bill Walsh have left, we ain't got shit to show for it. Harbaugh took an L. Kyle has taken 2 L's. I don't know who the fuck we should get to replace Kyle. I don't have an answer, but I can tell you right now, it's just not working. But once again, as I stated before, I'm stuck with this dude for another 6 years because Jadden gave him an extension. And what I can say is, even though I didn't like the fact that Eddie D wanted to move on from Bill Walsh, he did it for a reason. But Eddie D was a guy who said, get me results or get out of here. And it's frustrating, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't know what to do anymore. But once again, I'm not talking shit to nobody. Nope. I have no reason to. We just continually irrelevant, and it is what it is. You know, I mean, I've been saying this for years. I really would love to have that guy back in the building. Really. Eddie D in the building, I think shit gets done around here. You know, so shout out to Jed York. He did what he could. He finally found us a coach that could keep us relevant. But at the end of the day, this coach is just not winning Super Bowls, and we need it. We need them to come in and start hanging Super Bowl banners instead of getting there and just failing. You know, I really truthfully feel bad for all those people who spent their hard-earned money and went to Vegas. I feel bad for a lot of people that went ahead and, you know, put money on this game. There are people out there that spent a good fortune and bet on the Niners. And I feel bad. I even told someone, I was like, man, it's a sure shot. You know, we got this. Pathetic. It was just, it's not a good look, man. So I'm going to get up out of here. It is what it is. We took this L. We'll have to wait until August before we see any type of football. Try to focus on the draft, see where we can improve the squad, make it better. Hopefully they actually focus on the O-line. But with the way that our team works, I'm pretty sure we'll draft another fucking defensive lineman, as we always do. And I don't know. But somebody's got to, like, this is my thing. Like, and somebody has to do something. I'll give you that. Somebody has to do something. I need, like, somebody has to be there to be able to tell him no. And he has to listen to them because he's so fucking headstrong. You know what I'm saying? That he don't listen to no damn body. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, UFL March 30th. Okay. You know what? Thank you for stating that. Because I'm probably gonna be watching the UFL. I'm gonna try to find a way to watch that shit. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the times those we can get guys from there to transition into the NFL. That's how we brought in Jay Peasy early on in training camp. He was a wide receiver for one of the teams in the XFL. But if you don't know who Jay Peasy is, and you know what I'm saying, you got to watch Destroying. Donald DeLahaye. He actually just signed with a team. He's now a kicker. I think he's in the UFL. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's nice, but you got to get things going at some point, man. Like you can't just keep doing this. So I get these things happen, but I'm just tired of losing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you could bring his pops in, but this is what I would say about bringing his dad in. It's still your dad, and every now and then, as an adult, you kind of want to look at your pops and go, "I got this. I don't want to take your advice." So I don't know how good or bad that might be, but yeah, you could bring in Kyle, you could bring in Mike and have him say, "Hey, look, Kyle, you're not doing what gets you where you need to go, son. Get it together." Like I would have loved to have seen Mike on the sidelines because I think Mike would have pulled Kyle to the side and been like, there's a young man by the name of 23 that you're not using. What the fuck are you thinking? There's a young man by the name of Elijah Mitchell that you're not using. Why are you not doing so? There's a young kid named Jordan Mason who's giving you more than enough evidence to show that he's a viable running back and he's a banger up that middle of that damn line. Why are we not using him? Like these are the things that you do to confuse defenses, to disguise things. And that's when you hit them with the big shit. That's when you hit them with the bootleg. That's when you hit them with the play action. Kyle is always lauded for being the smartest guy. You didn't look so smart last night, bro. Once again, it is what it is. Thank everyone for tuning in. Sucks that we took an L, but it's all we can really do. We just got to figure out what's going on and pray for the best. Thank everyone for tuning in. Thank anyone who will watch this video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Keep your post notifications on. I'll keep you updated on the Niners and definitely going to be watching this UFL to see what we can get from them and find some players out of there that might be able to get themselves drafted or at least get a good look in training camp. But other than that, stay up, stay blessed. We are the faithful. Peace.